All right, welcome in to a Friday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, live on this Friday edition. Make sure you hit the like and share button if you don't mind. I got some new equipment in here, new cameras. Sorry we're a little late jumping into this Friday edition. We will have our Foodie Friday coming at you today, as we will have Josh from Iverstein's in, as he'll be cooking for us here over at the studio. Also, the cooking couple is out today, a little under the weather, a little sick. And the new Iverstein's has been opened over on Perkins Road. So Josh will be telling us all about it. I stopped in earlier this week, man. The place it's
Did
huge.
You get a plate lunch?
I got a plate lunch.
Was it good?
Picked up a couple of steaks earlier this week. Wow, Stewie, that shot looks great.
Yes, Stewie. Show them the whole room. Can you do a shot of the room so they can see the new stuff?
Check out the.
Is that too much? You're
check
like,
out
whoa.
Check out the newest edition, the Travis Daniels Miami Dolphins retro jersey. An old head of DBU.
That looks awesome.
Travis Daniels.
I love the orange frame.
Looks good.
Oh, you wanted to see the whole room, Katie?
Yeah. Let's see it.
Jeez.
Show them.
They want to see.
Ah,
They want to
nice,
see.
Nice.
But you still can't see the side. How do you see the side?
Hit the switches, Stewie.
But I like the whole room shot. They've probably never even seen all the stuff like up top, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Might want to change those batteries out, Stewie.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
No more couch.
No more couch.
This is just temporary.
Opening
We
up the
still are
room.
Changing things up a little.
Opening up the room. Sorry we're a little late. NBA draft last night. We're going to talk about it with our friends from New Orleans Football, as they're doing a little podcasting over there. Garrick Rattler, who covers the Pelicans, going to stop in here about 8:15 and give us the latest on the Pelicans. I thought the Pelicans killed the draft.
Oh, we got Minty already.
Last night. And Mintz early this morning after Ole Miss.
How's he awake?
Stamps their ticket to the College World Series final. They'll be taking on Oklahoma. Game 1 tomorrow from Omaha. Mintz all over television.
I know.
Yesterday.
We saw him a couple of
All
times watching
over
it live.
the TV as they showed him jumping around in the stands. That was a hell of a game yesterday as their Ole Miss starting pitcher, DeLuca, I believe is his name, 16 strikeouts for Ole Miss yesterday, and a really a solid performance. And we will talk to Matt House, the defensive coordinator over at LSU. Will stop by here at 7:30 this morning. He'll be in at 7:30 here talking LSU, spring football, what his expectation is on that defense, how good that defensive line is. We'll get a couple of Kansas City stories from him as we are looking forward to Matt House joining us at 7:30 this morning. But let's go out to Omaha and catch up.
Bedhead Ben.
And catch up with Benny Mintz.
I like it.
All over the television yesterday. He was a star. The cameras were finding him on ESPN. My man looks like he's been on a bender since they got that ninth inning, third out. Ole Miss goes to the men's national championship for the College World Series for the first time ever. Mincy, how's it feeling on this Friday morning?
I don't believe the stuff that's happened that keeps happening to me the last couple of years. I wouldn't believe this stuff. If somebody told me this, I'd laugh in their face. I mean, I just yesterday, you know what it's been like following this Ole Miss baseball program for over 20 years. I mean, this has been a really good program that's just come up short in the postseason so many times. I mean, it's been so heartbreaking. And to finally break through after 20 years and to do it against Arkansas, who's such a bitter rival. I mean, I'll honestly say it, Jordy. You know, nothing will ever beat the Saints Super Bowl or the NFC Championship beating Favre. But yesterday was probably my number 3 favorite sports moment. It was at that level.
Mincy, it was incredible. It was incredible. What's the feeling around Mike Bianco right now?
He just shoved it in everybody's face. He hadn't come out and said anything. But, man, if I were him, I can't even imagine how vindictive. You know, he's carrying it well, but he's just stuck it up everybody, you know.
Yes, absolutely.
This team was 7-14 in the SEC on May the 5th, Jordy. I mean, we're not talking about like, oh, they started slow. We're talking there were 3 weeks left in the season and they didn't think they were going to make it to Hoover when the top 12 qualified of 14.
Well, Mincy, when they came into Baton Rouge, they were coming off of a midweek loss. That week when he was coming into Baton Rouge, when he swept LSU, like there were like talks on whether or not that he was going to be like finishing the season.
Yeah, they were 7-14. They swept Missouri, and then we actually beat one at Southern Miss. Rebs won at Southern Miss midweek that week.
Oh, that's right.
And then they swept LSU, and they just saved everything in that stretch where they won 7 in a row. And then they lost 2 out of 3 to A&M, and then they got beat the night I went after the Whistler by Vandy. And literally, Jordy, on selection day, on the Memorial Day Monday, I was 85% sure Ole Miss wasn't in the field and was going to be first 4 out. Like, I mean, I was like that sure.
Yeah.
And they got the 64th. They get the 64th spot in the tournament, and they're playing for the national championship. This is literally, I mean, this is crazier than fiction. And, you know, yesterday, so what happened with the ESPN stuff that was really fun, there's this cameraman he's on the third baseline, but he loves Barstool. And so last year, when Walker, remember how Walker was all over it last year with State?
Yeah.
He was just like, where are you at, man? And, dude, I mean, what the hell is this world? Ole Miss makes the final out to make the national championship game, and I'm the first person there tackling Chris Castellani. And my buddy locked the camera just right to me. Somebody sent me a text that SVP mentioned me last night. I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh, Mincy, that would be incredible. That would be unbelievable.
Yeah, I got a text at like 12:02. I was already asleep, but I just don't believe it. And then I want to say, Jordy, you mentioned it. It's Dylan DeLucia. The game, I mean, biggest game in school history, you throw a complete game shutout. Who the hell does that?
Right.
That was one of the – I mean, that was literally like the best Ole Miss sporting performance ever. And
did that set you back in the championship series having to throw him yesterday? I know you got to get there, but where does this team sit going into a 3-game match versus Oklahoma?
It did. It definitely did because Oklahoma won on Wednesday. I'll tell you what else it did. It really hurt Ole Miss fans trying to come out here for the title series because Oklahoma bought up Oak Norman's like 5 or 6 hours from here. Dude, people were having nightmares trying to find hotels after we won yesterday. I'm curious how that's going to affect that. But for Oklahoma, they're set up so much better for the championship series. They're going to throw their ace, Jake Bennett, the lefty, game 1. They have Cade Horton, game 2. And they've got their number 3 pitcher pitched awesome against A&M the other day. So they're set up. Ole Miss, game 1 is going to be tough. Ole Miss is going to be an underdog in game 1. Bennett's tough lefty, and Ole Miss struggles against lefties. Ole Miss will throw Hunter Elliott game 2. And, I mean, game 3, you really might even see DeLucia back on 3 days rest. Wow. I wouldn't even be shocked. So, yeah, Oklahoma's got a big pitching edge going into it, especially in game 1. But, you know, it's all hands on deck yesterday. I mean, you're playing a winner-take-all. Make the national championship, so no regrets.
Mincy, tell me about this class, this senior class. Wrap this group up for me now that they have a chance to play for a national title. What has this journey been like for this very veteran-laden team?
So there's a story I want to share. So there's 3 guys. Well, there's 4, but specifically Justin Bench, the leadoff hitter, Tim Elko, and Kevin Graham. So that's the 1, 3, and 4 hitters. Graham got drafted last year. All 3 of them could have gone and played professional baseball, but, you know, they shrunk the draft down to 20 rounds. And they all decided to come back together. And they all could have left last year. And they decided to come back together. And then, I mean, everything went wrong this year. Yeah. And, like I said, you saw it. The fan base turned on Bianco, and now he's in the national championship. And I think this year is a testament to their leadership. Somehow they blocked out all that noise and just stayed, you know, kept focused on themselves. And I just want to talk about Tim Elko specifically. Did you see, Jordy, did you see the moment where I hugged Elko in front of the dugout after in that postgame? That's one of my favorite Ole Miss moments ever. He is, no doubt about it, an all-time top 5 Rebel legend, not just like with his play on the field, but with his leadership. He's such a good person. Last year, tore his ACL, came back and hit 7 home runs. I mean, this dude's the real deal, and I couldn't be happier for him. I mean, we launched an NIL shirt for him with Barstool, and I don't know, man. He just deserves it so much, holding this team together and everything he's done for Ole Miss the last 4 years. I literally have, never been happier for somebody than I am for him right now.
The picture of him in the box with you standing behind the wall and you're kind of, looking back, and they caught that moment, to me is, You should blow that up and put it in your office. I mean, that picture is.
Oh, I will. That was Ole Miss Picks, the photographer that got that, who does such a good job. Man, yesterday, there's 1,000 memories from yesterday. I mean, I'll just never forget. Like, I'm never going to forget when I hugged Elko, like, after the game, like, that. That's unbelievable. That was one of my favorite things that's ever happened. And I feel like I'm living in a dream world. The heartbreak for 20 years. I mean, like I said, I've said it several times. I mean, LSU fans, 6 baseball titles, 3 football titles. Ole Miss, I've learned to be an Ole Miss fan and just be happy when you win and have a good attitude and all that. Like, Ole Miss playing for a national championship is completely banana world. And I don't even believe it. But here they are, and Saturday at 6, Sunday at 2, and then Monday at 6, Game 3 if necessary. And also, Jordy, huge shout-out to the Ole Miss fan base. Home game again, and our Ole Miss fan base has shown out better than anybody here. And there's a big fan bases here. I mean, we were 3-1 on Arkansas both the last 2 games, and they're a 5.5-hour drive away. And I know that has to do with a lot with Ole Miss being, not making Omaha much and hadn't made it in 8 years, but I mean, our fans crushed it, and I know, there's a lot to live up to with the state fan base last year, how hard they went, but Ole Miss is certainly doing their part.
Mintzy, incredible time in your life, man. Any concern that the Rebel fan base feels like it's already won just by arriving, just by getting to the game?
Well, the good thing is the Rebel fan base doesn't play in the game, and the senior leadership. And that was what made me feel good about yesterday. I bet on Ole Miss as an underdog yesterday, even with the heartbreak late in Game 2. Just because, like I said on here, I said I felt good about Dylan DeLucia and I felt good about the senior leadership. And there was a vibe yesterday, Jordy. I know you're a huge vibe energy guy too. That's part of why we're friends. Usually when Ole Miss has a huge game, everybody's just nervous and how are we going to choke this and all that stuff. Yesterday, it was so loose and so positive just all day going in the stadium. It just felt different with this team. It really did. And everybody was just loose, enjoying the moment instead of worrying about blowing it. And I think that's a huge part of being successful is being able to be loose and free in the big moments.
Go get him, Mintzy. Enjoy the moment, bro. What an incredible
National
time in your life, man.
This Mintzy tours. I wonder what I'm going to get into on this day off too. There's a lot of options.
Just make sure you're documenting it, man. Put it out on social media.
I've got some plans for today. You keep a close eye on today. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to spoil it, but. I've got I've got something up my sleeve. We'll put it that way.
Mintzy, you have been to Barrett's, right? You told me yesterday. You confirmed.
Oh yeah, went to Barrett's the other night. Got to meet the owners. Man, awesome place. So cool. They fed me a free Reuben, friggin' volleyball court, great vibes. I mean, awesome. It's kind of a bummer for them. The TD Ameritrade, the thing being downtown hurts them because it's about 3 miles from downtown, which is a bummer because it was just such a cool place. Owners couldn't have been nicer. They were thrilled to have me there. It was a great experience. Jordy, what they were saying about they can't love LSU more. I mean, they were talking about the champagne bottles getting set off in the volleyball court the last time LSU won the title and stuff. I mean, there's no bigger LSU Tiger fans than the Barrett family.
Oh, I mean, they should name the addition Tiger Stadium. I mean, LSU fans, came up and, would just money roll the place. They'd spend a week and a half there, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Mintzy, enjoy all of it, bro. It's been fun to watch you in this journey.
I am, man. I just thank you for having me. I appreciate everything you've done for me, too. It's been an unbelievable ride.
Always, bro. Always. See you later, man. There's Ben Mintz checking in from Omaha this morning as the Rebels have stamped their ticket to the College World Series final for the first time. Mintzy on the ride last night. As they close out Arkansas. Katie has got to be feeling fantastic here on this Friday morning.
It's whatever.
So I'll ask you the same thing I did yesterday because I ran into a Mississippi State fan yesterday evening.
There are more?
There
are others out there.
Who says that this does, in fact, sour the taste of the national
I told
championship.
you that yesterday.
No, you tried to rise above it. I thought that you were just saying that you still have your national championship and you're not playing.
I said,
that's right, off the record. I didn't know if you were bringing off the record.
I hope they don't win the year after we win. That's disappointing. But I can always say we did it first. I'll always have that.
Absolutely. Which means something.
It does mean something.
Which means something.
It just means more.
Speaking of being first, Matt House is going to be here. He's on the media tour this morning. He's going to be, yes.
Where is he first?
Right here.
Where is he
7:30 this morning. down the street at the radio
Aw.
station. And
Sounds-
then, yeah.
We'll
Sounds
tire
about
him
right.
out here
Yeah.
first.
That's right.
Give him a little food.
Yeah, that's right. I'm getting full, happy.
Yes.
Send him down the way.
Exactly. You
Enjoy,
sure you want to leave?
enjoy the day, Coach.
Go ahead.
He'll be in here at 7:30 this morning. Looking forward to talking to Coach Matt House. Remember, our show daily is brought to you by our friends over at Dead Soxy. Now is a great time. Summer months, if you're looking for the low-cut socks, get over to deadsoxy.com. You can always save money on that discount code. Katie, tell them about it.
Jordy is the discount code. You can save 35%
Damn.
by using that code. That's a lot.
Yes.
Do you have Dead Soxy on right?
I do.
You do?
Always.
I gotta get the no shows. I don't
Always.
have any. They never seem to slip down off the back of the foot.
No. They've got the
right?
good.
That's the
They've got
deal
the,
with
like the
them.
traction
They
on the
don't
heel.
slip. Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't slip. So put the code Jordy in and get your Dead Soxy socks for 35% off.
People asking about Lloyd. Lloyd's sick,
Lloyd's
not
sick.
fired.
I think they know better than that.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not the same without old Lloyd around.
NBA draft last night. I thought the Pelicans did a good job. Right,
Yes.
right. Anybody know anything about Dyson Daniels?
I do not.
Yeah,
more Noah's
did he come
territory.
from? He was,
He's from the G League.
Yeah.
He was playing in the G
Where
League,
was he
but
before,
I think he's
though?
originally from France,
Yeah, he's French.
Oh, that's cool.
Australia,
Australia.
Oh,
Okay.
or-
close.
Or
or
Australia.
Australia.
You know.
Stewie, yeah, France.
France. I thought he was French.
Yeah, I did too. Australian, and then we'll talk some Pelicans draft picks and get some thoughts on Daniels from our friend Garrick Rattler, who covers the New Orleans Pelicans for NewOrleans.network, which is a part of NewOrleans.football, our friend
Yeah.
Nick Underhill down there. They also picked up E.J. Liddell at pick 41 out of Ohio State. Very similar to Herb Jones, as he plays a lot of defensive, has been a defensive stopper for Ohio State, comes down here. But one thing that you have to always remember about the Pelicans is Fred Vinson, the shooting coach. As we've seen, guys like Lonzo Ball, even Brandon Ingram, really improve offensively since they've become pros. And a lot of that is because of Fred Vinson, who's an assistant coach for the Pelicans, who's known for improving people's shot. And I think Dyson Daniels, when you look at him, are one of the things that he struggled on is to shoot the ball.
Came in through the front.
Okay. Did you tell him to come around the back?
Yeah, I told him to come around.
And one of the things that Daniels, it looks like, is struggling on, at least early on in his basketball life, has been shooting. He's become a better shooter. Does Dyson Daniels. But Coach Matt House just walked in. Give us a minute. We'll flip the set. We'll be right back. We'll be talking LSU football with the defensive coordinator, Matt House, coming up here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. City Cafe online at citycafebr.net, where good friends meet. Great food and even better service. Located in the shopping center behind Rite Aid on the corner of George O'Neill and O'Neill Lane. They cater for parties big and small. Sundays, they serve a fantastic brunch that starts at 10 a.m. They have daily lunch specials. And remember, you can look at everything online at citycafebr.net. Give a shout out to Squeaky Miranda, Cody Miranda, Dirk and the crew, everybody over at City Cafe for their support here, the Jordy Culotta Show. Online, citycafebr.net. Inspiration, man.
Appreciate
I
that.
cannot wait to watch your group play. And the reason we said this to the public, we wanted to get you on is because everybody that's come through here, recruit, player in the locker room, coaches, have mentioned your name of making an impact on their time or their decision to be at LSU. So keep doing it right, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Like I said, you give our guys a platform. They come in talking about the show, so
Yeah.
this is awesome. Nice setup too. I might steal one of these couches.
Yeah, you got it, bro. You got it. We got a lot of gear for you.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
LSU cornerbacks coach Robert Steeple's in with us for that was great inspiration, man.
Appreciate
I
that.
cannot wait to watch. All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. It has been cool to get to know a lot of the LSU coaches and players who have come through here over the last couple of weeks and last couple of months, and we have been looking forward to sitting down and talking to LSU defensive coordinator Matt House, and he joins us now in studio. And, Coach, first off, good morning. Welcome aboard. Thanks for finding the time to come in with us, man.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely, man. We've asked a lot of people who have come through here and landed in Baton Rouge just how you got here. I know that you were in the SEC as a defensive coordinator. You spent some time in the NFL, but Brian Kelly seemed to target you as soon as he landed on the job. I know you had some work to take care of with your team, but how did you end up in Baton Rouge?
Yeah, it was just more than anything elite opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, I was at a special situation, a special place. Certainly working for a great head coach, working for a coordinator that I had a great prior relationship with and that is a mentor. But this opportunity was different. You have a chance to come to a place with unbelievable tradition, work for the winningest head coach in college football. Just be at a state. I've never been at a state where football's king, and if you just dominate your state, you're going to get some of the best players that there are.
Sure.
And so the opportunity was just something you couldn't pass up, right? And that's really why I ended up here.
Did you miss the recruiting part, being away from it?
I miss the relationship part of it.
Yeah.
You know, that the relationships that you build is special, and I think all of us as coaches, like, that's what we're driven by, right? We're driven by competition, relationships, and then developing guys. And really those three things. When you go into a school and you get to have that relationship with a high school coach, you get to have that relationship with a kid. Sometimes you get to have relationships with kids that you're not even recruiting. Some of the most entertaining recruiting stories I have are
Brothers and sisters. And
well, not even that. I mean, I could tell you one time in South Georgia recruiting, there was a kid that every time I went to the principal's office, it was the same kid in the principal's office. Not always because he was in trouble.
Right.
And those types of things are fun.
Sure. What was your relationship with Brian Kelly before you took the job, and what has it been like to work for him?
So competed against Coach Kelly.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't remember this. I remembered this. When he was the head coach at Grand Valley and I was a graduate assistant at Michigan State, twice I met Coach Kelly, and then, to be honest with you, when he was in that region of the state, okay, I'm originally from northern Michigan.
Wow.
And just his reputation, what he's all about, is just something that's appealing, honestly, to learn from.
Yeah.
In this business, whether you're a coach or a player, you either adapt and develop or you die.
Yeah.
And an opportunity to go learn from Brian Kelly, I mean, that's a golden opportunity in our business.
What did you take from the NFL back to the SEC? What do you learn at that elite level that you can kind of give to college football?
I mean, where do you start? But, I think you talked about recruiting and development. From a player standpoint, one of the things you learn is how to be a great teacher, because you're with those guys so much longer than in college. Okay, you better be great in your preparation. You better be great in a presentation and a meeting. You also learn when you're going through the selection process in the NFL. You yearn to prepare players, because you see some of the guys that go through that process in the draft process that are very well prepared, and then you see some that aren't very well prepared. And I'm not talking just from a technique and fundamental standpoint.
Sure.
I'm talking more from a mental standpoint.
Right.
And then I think just the NFL is based on matchups, right? And you learn how to take advantage of matchups and how to try to minimize issues with matchups.
Tyrann Mathieu came in here, spent an hour with us, told great stories, and when your name came up, he mentioned that over the last 2 seasons he had 11 interceptions. 8 of those interceptions he credited just by paying attention in the meetings to what you were saying the keys were to look out for. He read his keys, he did his assignment, did what his coach told him to do, was in the right place, made the play. What was it like to coach a player like that? And then I know the coordinator spot of calling defense means a lot to you, so being back in that role.
Sure. First of all, with Tyrann, I think he's being pretty gracious. The thing about Tyrann that I think people need to understand is, as gifted as an athlete as he is, he embraces preparation. And really all the great ones do.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the first one into the building, the last one to leave a meeting. He if you open up his notebook, he takes unbelievable notes and puts those, puts our coaching points and words in stuff he understands, right? And if he has a question, he's not afraid to ask. So the preparation he does, I mean, to me as a coach, the game's still about the players. All right, there's no coach without a player. And he does a great job of just embracing the words you give him, the film you give him, and then he puts his own personality on it and rolls.
He's got a lot of football left in the tank, for sure, with New
absolutely.
Orleans. But he's been steadfast and loud on saying he wants to be a coach.
Yeah.
How good of a coach will he be?
I think he'll be outstanding. I've seen him interact with young guys. I've seen him, first of all, the passion he has. Some guys that say they want to transition into coaching, they don't always understand the commitment and the time and the work. This guy does. I think he'll be outstanding when he makes that transition.
I know I brought it up, and it was too big of a question to add on to the Tyrann Mathieu thoughts. Being a coordinator for you, I know is big to you because of the relationship part, right? But Tyrann said one thing that you knew about Coach House was he owned that linebacker room. His guys were his guys. So now I imagine being in charge of that side of the ball was very enticing for you.
Absolutely, and I enjoy the scheme part of the game. I enjoy the process of putting together a game plan in a game week. I enjoy the process of finding the strengths and weaknesses of your team, because every year every team's different. I enjoy trying to, build that culture. I enjoy trying to build the techniques and fundamentals from a whole standpoint outside of the position coach. So, yeah, it was absolutely intriguing to do that, and something that I yearn to do again.
You have SEC experience, obviously, with the defenses that you ran in Kentucky, and they were outstanding. What does it mean to be LSU's defensive coordinator, just as far as the coaching world goes? When that phone call comes and they ask you to be that title, what does that mean to somebody in the fraternity?
Yeah, I'm not telling you anything that I haven't told friends, recruits, but I will tell you this, to me, if you just said 32 plus about 5 to 7, right? 32 NFL defenses to lead, and then 5 to 7 college defenses where you have elite spot responsibility, you get elite players to coach, right? And you have elite tradition. That's what LSU is. You know, the tradition that's here, the players that you can develop, and then expectations.
Yeah.
You want to go to a place that wants to win championships. You want to go to a place that expects championship defense, you know. And to be honest with you, if you want to be challenged as an individual, you need to be in those places.
Yeah. What was your expectation, not expectation, what was your goal going into spring, and did you accomplish that coming out of it?
Yeah, I think the first thing we needed to do with spring is start to build the culture that Coach Kelly and his vision of this program, start to build habits, you know, and then along with those habits, obviously there's the football piece, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that we focused on was very simple, just tackling our expectation of how we want to play and how we want to be aggressive on defense and run to the football. And then we always started with our multiple coverage schemes and starting to learn the concepts.
Yeah.
I thought the guys did a really good job. In particular, I saw a lot of growth in the last 5 practices. Mm-hmm. I think the first 5 were just kind of learning how to practice.
Yeah.
Right. The next 5 in the middle were, you know, they were growing pains, and I started to see us start to flourish the last 5 practices.
Yeah.
And excited about this summer. Obviously, we get to work with them a little bit, not a ton, and really, really excited about getting into training camp.
Your 3 levels, when you look at them, your front 7 looks just SEC, almost NFL ready. When you look at that front 4, that defensive line, Jamar Cain's group, he came through here. He's fantastic.
Yeah, Jamar's really talented.
What are your expectations of that defensive line? Because they look like they got a bunch of killers up there.
I mean, we have the opportunity to be special there, and we have the opportunity to be disruptive. We got guys that are hungry. So I'm really, really excited. You know, I'm anxious to see how that group comes together in the month of August. You know, any championship football team, there's a piece of growth and development, and you can't will that talent together. Mm-hmm. You got to mold the traits, you know, and
sure.
There's talent there, but we gotta mold it in this month of August, so we're an efficient, disruptive unit.
Yeah, we've seen B.J. Ojulari over here the first 2 years get to the quarterback at a very high rate. He's very good at that. He was an All-American as a freshman because of it. In spring under you, we saw you really using his athleticism. Josh Allen's name came up from a comparison standpoint, and even B.J. came through here and talked about some of the conversations y'all had had. When you see that type of player in prospect, what do you see the potential of him?
I think his potential's through the roof.
Yeah.
I'm really pleased with BJ. He's another one. The last 5 practices, he just and his athleticism lends him to be able to move around and do some different things, which is exciting. And as a coordinator, that's what you want, right? Mm-hmm. That's how you can become multiple. And that front in particular, I think Jamar does a really good job of keeping it simple, but, you know, allowing us to be complex and keeping it simple, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think the more you can simplify the game for players,
sure,
the more multiple you actually can be.
Right.
So.
Your room, not only do you focus on the defense, you call the plays on the defensive side of the ball, but you focus primarily on the linebackers from a position standpoint. What's your overall thoughts on that room and some of the guys that stood out during spring?
I love their hard hat mentality, meaning that there's competition in that room. The guys want to get extra work, whether it's now in the spring when I first got here. They want to be sponges, and that's exciting. You know, I think you know, some of the older guys have done a good job coming along. Mike Jones comes to mind. He's done a good job. You know, you start talking. Greg Penn, I thought, had a good spring. Jared Small's done a great job coming back off of injury, which is tough.
Yeah.
And sometimes can be mentally hard to do. And then I look at some of the newcomers we have, Wes Weeks did a great job in spring. Kobe Fields did a great job. Now we add Harold Perkins to the, Micah Baskerville, the guy who's played here before. So we got competition. And the month of August is going to be fun to see how that, and even right now. And the thing I like about it is it's healthy competition, but at the same time that room's working for a common goal.
You got a lot of veterans in that room and a lot of IQ from a football standpoint. When you bring a guy like Perkins into the mix who's so athletic and so explosive, do you focus primarily just let him do one thing as a freshman? How do you kind of
That's
break
a
him
great
in?
question. Like, obviously his talents, he's got elite talent.
Right. It pops. You
Right.
see it immediately.
It pops, no question. But just like you're just saying, in order to get that talent to pop, you gotta be successful at one thing before you can be successful at two things.
Right.
So there's definitely a process of development. The thing about Harold that I love is he's there, and he wants to learn.
Yeah.
And so much of the game it's such a result-driven game that from the outside you just see the game day talent pop, right? Mm-hmm. But there's a process to make that talent pop within the team. Mm-hmm. And that's something that he's done a great job of embracing.
We had Coach Steeples in. We'd love to talk to Coach Cooks, but the defensive back room's got a lot of new faces in there. They replaced the number 3 overall pick and some guys that left the program with some high talent. How do you view that room, and what'd you think of their spring?
Yeah, you know what? I'm encouraged by that room. We got a lot of newcomers. Mm-hmm. But what I have seen throughout the summer is those guys have embraced each other. You see them constantly around each other, even on the weekends. They're traveling in packs. Yeah. And that's good to see. A lot of talent with the newcomers. It'll be big in summer and in training camp to get that group together, because throughout the spring we had some injuries, and so you had some moving pieces to it. So I'm excited to watch that development come together as a unit. Yeah. I think there's a lot of individual talent, but again, it's the traits we're developing, it's the habits and kind of the mode of operation.
Sure. Alignment is a word that we continuously hear coming out of the players, coaches that come over from Coach Kelly's program. It seems like there's a lot of buy-in to the vision and the things that are SWAT teams and leadership and accountability. In your role, how do you see that chemistry really being built? Because it seems like it's happening every day, every second, every minute.
Well, I think, first of all, one of Coach Kelly's biggest strengths is he's a great communicator. Mm-hmm. And let's face it, when you walk in front of a room and you have street credit, people buy in, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it's street credit with player development, street credit with wins, they buy in. And I think our guys have done a good job buying in. And the thing that I see with Coach's program is he develops the whole person, right? Yeah. And it's no fluke, right? Right. And the guys embrace that. They can feel it. It's something that in that program, if you just do what you're supposed to do, you're gonna leave out of there, all right, a great person. Mm-hmm. You're gonna develop. And our mission is to graduate champions, and that's what everything's built on. Whether it's athletically, academically, we're pushing to graduate champions.
Identifying those guys have become so much earlier now, right? As recruiters, you guys just wrapped up 2 weeks of camps on campus, and they started from 5th grade and went all the way through 12th grade. How has that changed since maybe you came back to the SEC in college football, and what's that part like?
That's a great question. So it's amazing. Like, I still consider – I look in the mirror and I'm not as young anymore, right? But I consider myself still a young coach in some ways, and
Sure.
You look and you're not young anymore. You've been doing it for over 20 years. The camp process and the recruiting process is sped up. It used to be that when you were the 2023 class, let's just take it right now.
Right.
It used to be you were identifying and getting all those kids to camps, and you really, the 24 class, let's just say, take it, if that was 15, 20 years ago, yeah, they were on your radar, but you weren't pushed off for scholarships to rising juniors and rising sophomores. Now it's sped up so much, the evaluation is really happening earlier, right? Mm-hmm. And at the same time, there's still got kids that come. I mean, there's a hell of a lot of difference between a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old.
Sure.
And there are guys that still pop. Mm-hmm. We had several individuals in camp this year. I think Brian Polian put out a tweet that camps are still alive. We had several individuals that came to camp this year as juniors, going to be seniors, that you're like, wow,
right.
that he was good on tape, but he's great on the field. And just that natural development of people, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's the balance you're playing right now, is identifying and selecting young, but still keeping an open mind and continuing the evaluation process as they go from juniors to seniors. And it's not done yet.
Sure. We
got several of them. We're telling them, hey, we need to see your first couple games. So I don't think it's ever over. It's just got sped up way faster than it used to be.
Absolutely. Louisiana, in that process, you've traveled and recruited a lot of areas as a college football coach. How wealthy of a state is Louisiana to the process?
Yeah, it's unbelievable, really.
Yeah, especially to your side of the ball, right?
Yeah, and just the speed, the athleticism.
I mean, Quincy Wiggins doesn't grow in every other state.
No,
right?
no. Absolutely right.
Right.
And just, again, part of the tradition at that stadium in this state is because of the high school football players in this state, right? And I think the coaches do a great job in this state. I mean, there's obviously great talent, great culture, which that sounds goofy, but a kid from North Louisiana completely different than a kid from South Louisiana,
100%,
right?
Yeah.
And that's a neat thing. So within your state, as you build a team, you don't have to go to other states. Certainly, we're going to recruit the best, right?
Sure.
But in the state, it's awesome how you can build a roster and build different pieces of that roster within the state.
Sure. Mekhi Gardner came in 2 days ago and talked about how much his body has changed since the day he touched campus to where he is right now, and gave a lot of credit to Jacob Flint on that. The team is under the supervision right now of Flint for the next couple of weeks and months. Talk about the job he's doing.
Yeah, I think Jake's doing a great job with them. I think he's exceptional at speaking Coach Kelly's vision and then applying it to the science of the game. And then I think if you look at it, a guy who's doesn't get talked about enough is Dr. Frakes, our nutritionist. I think he's done a great job with those guys too.
Yeah.
And I love how that in their system and the way Coach Kelly's got that building built. I mean, the strength coach is right there and the nutritionist is there right in the same office.
Right.
So you can't pass either one of them. And I think they work hand in hand really, really well.
How much has college football started to resemble the NFL as far as the facilities, the support staff, that stuff you're talking, the nutritionist?
I got to be honest with you. We got more people at LSU than we did in Kansas City.
Wow.
I mean,
wow.
The development piece is really overwhelming and unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's getting everybody to push the same way, right? Mm-hmm. But it has changed immensely. I mean, now you have truly personnel departments, right? You have recruiting departments. You have, we just talked about it, player development. It's amazing how many tools you have available to you. That it didn't used to be like that.
Right.
It used to be you had your coaches, your graduate assistants, your couple video guys, maybe 2 strength coaches. Nutrition has come so far. Mm-hmm. The scouting of high school players has come so far. It used to be your recruiting coordinator, and you might have a director of recruiting. That was about it. So the amount of support is, really come a long way.
How good was Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, unbelievable. Great competitor. I think the thing that he doesn't get enough credit for is how good a human being he is. And I think that's why people fall in line, and he's a great leader. Certainly hard to coach against.
I bet.
Even in practice, he'd drive you nuts.
I bet she makes a better coach every day, right?
No question.
Yeah.
And Coach Reed, offensively, what he does and, how innovative he is, it pushes you.
Yeah. Absolutely. How do you use the summer as a defensive coordinator? You mentioned that you get a selected amount of time with your team.
That's a great question. So I think the summer is basically 3 parts, right? There's a heavy recruiting element. Mm-hmm. This month of June has been a big recruiting month for us, okay? Then there's a player development piece, and you're really focusing on the techniques and fundamentals of your team. And then we dive in on defense. We do huge studies on our opponents. Mm-hmm. We really break down the first 4, but then we study every SEC opponent. Mm-hmm. And we're very intentional with that. So we have basically skeleton game plans. Then when you go to install in training camp, you're not wasting reps, right? You're figuring out what fits the most, mm-hmm. what you're going to carry in, what's your meat and potatoes, and then some things you need to expose the guys to. So the summer's really those 3 parts, and it's each one's very important, and you're kind of juggling those 3.
Yeah. I don't want to say antiquated, but in today's college football world or football world, you have to be multiple on defense, right?
Absolutely. The offenses are too good.
Yeah.
The run game's too diverse. The thing that's changed our game more than anything is how much and how well kids throw the ball and catch the ball. Mm-hmm. 20 years ago, kids didn't throw the ball and catch the ball coming out of high school like they do now. Mm-hmm. And it's changed the game. I don't think there's very few schemes that have never been invented before, right?
Sure.
But the speed at which the pass game's been developed is faster. And then because of that, with the RPOs and the space that offenses can create, you got to be multiple, and you also have to understand, if there was a magic defense to take it all away, I'd be laying on the beach right now.
Absolutely.
Right?
Right.
Every defense gives something away and takes something away. And I think the key to it is your players to understand what you're trying to take away and what you're giving away.
What was it like to defend? Coach Denbrock sat right there yesterday and it was cool to hear how high he is on his quarterbacks.
Yeah.
What was it like to defend those guys? And then on the outside, LSU might be as special as anyone at wide receiver, right?
Yeah, they tested us all spring.
Yeah.
I mean, they got great depth in that receiver room. Obviously, they got some elite talent. And then when you look at the quarterback room, every quarterback presented a little different issue.
Yeah.
To the point where, when we were in scrimmages, you'd be on the sideline in your sideline huddle, and the first thing you'd say is, "Who's the quarterback in the game?"
Yeah.
Because they're all talented, and they all have a little bit different personality and strengths and weaknesses.
For sure.
Which is tough to defend.
You call it from the sideline, or you call it from the box?
I've done both.
Uh-huh.
I'll probably be on the sideline this year, but I've done both.
How do you like your staff on that side of the ball? So, again, alignment. Coach Kane was in here, and he mentioned the word and working for you, and it just seems like a great room.
Yeah, it is. And I like the fact that we have great ideas in that room, mm-hmm. but at the same time we have low ego guys. Mm-hmm. And, when you come out of the room, you come to a consensus, and then, boom, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And that's good. And guys are, embracing input, but at the same time don't get in their feelings if an idea gets squashed, because sometimes not every idea can make it.
Yeah. Big hunter, right?
What's that?
Big hunter? Yeah,
I like to hunt.
Is that how you get away from it? Is that?
Yeah, you know what? I don't get to do it as much as I'd like, because
Sure.
obviously a lot of it's revolved around the fall.
Yeah.
But yes, Like when I can,
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
And 4 kids keep you busy, I'm
That's
sure.
right.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing about hunting and fishing. You can include them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. How's the adjustment been to Baton Rouge? And
So far, it's been great.
yeah.
You know, they like it. My wife is from North Carolina, so she was glad to get into a warmer climate.
Yeah,
And the kids were too.
absolutely. Can you go into what the challenge was of the roster building you guys took on when you took the job? And just to get to this point, I'd imagine it was tough to unpack boxes at the house that you were settling in just because of all the work that you guys had to do immediately. Recruiting, transfer portal, spring football, recruiting again, camps.
And the work's not done, right?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's constant. Luckily, you know, all of us in the coaching profession, we have to be thankful for our families and our wives, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they allow us to do this. And the commitment that they give. You talk about unpacking boxes. I think I've unpacked 3 boxes.
I bet, right.
I mean, Jesse's a saint. But yeah, it's been a whirlwind. Not an unexpected whirlwind, though, right?
Sure.
When you kind of expect when you come into a new program, there's going to be a transition period, and that's part of the transition period.
Yeah.
And I think that's it's kind of healthy in some ways.
Yeah.
Right. It's the way that the reset button's pushed.
Right. Thank you for your time today, Coach. I
I appreciate
I know
it.
You're on the media tour. Tell Hess and the crew over there we say hello, man.
I will, and thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Have you pictured a Saturday night Tiger Stadium running out of the tunnel?
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't. When we go in there, you know, the one thing we get to obviously go in there with recruits and they play a video, but man, it's going to be exciting.
It will, man. Thank you. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Matt House, LSU defensive coordinator. We'll be back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Thanks, guys.
No.
This show in particular, highlighting the players that I've seen come through here and the coaches. We're grateful to have the opportunity. This show in particular, highlighting the players that I've seen come through here and the coaches. We're grateful to have the opportunity.
Do you have questions about your finances? Are you looking for recommendations from a skilled financial advisor? Get in touch with our friend Daniel Newman over at Edward Jones. You can find him easily by logging online and shooting him an email at daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. That is daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Whether it is help with your 401k or just fiscal advice heading into the new season, get in touch with Daniel today. Best way to do it? Email him, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. He's our experienced financial advisor. Let him be yours, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU bluewater.com. Do you have questions about your finances? Are you looking for recommendations from a skilled financial advisor? Get in touch with our friend Daniel Newman over at Edward Jones. You can find him easily by logging online and shooting him an email at daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. That is daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Whether it is help with your 401k or just fiscal advice heading into the new season, get in touch with Daniel today. Best way to do it? Email him, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. He's our experienced financial advisor. Let him be yours, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz. City Cafe online at citycafebr.net, where good friends meet. Great food and even better service, located in the shopping center behind Rite Aid on the corner of George O'Neill and O'Neill Lane. They cater for parties, big and small. Sundays, they serve a fantastic brunch that starts at 10 a.m. They have daily lunch specials. And remember, you can look at everything online at citycafebr.net. We'll give a shout-out to Squeaky Miranda, Cody Miranda, Dirk and the crew, everybody over at City Cafe for their support here at the Jordy Culotta Show. Online, citycafebr.net. What else we got? One more. Voicemail. Hang on 1 second, Jamil. We're coming to you after
Jamil's
this
just in there
voicemail.
talking, we're all snapping at her. Shut up.
Shut up back there.
I was just calling to find out when the Jordy Culotta Invitational is going down. Don't make it soon because it's too damn hot. I know y'all know that with the lack of AC going on at the joint. And if Rico Delgado's listening, he's a bitch. Send my condolences to Jock. Bye. I was just calling to find.
That's awesome.
Bro,
He
that's
is
the call
listening.
Hall of Fame.
There it is.
That is.
That's the one seed.
That's what we needed.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's what we've been looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't play it long. And you know what? We need to cut that up. Play that last part again. Let me hear that last part. We should be able to cut this part up.
I know y'all know that with the lack of AC going on at the joint. And if Rico Delgado's listening, he's a bitch. Sorry, WAFB.
Sorry, WAFB.
That'll be a fine wherever you are. Whoever you are, where are you
It's
calling
from
from?
Spring, Texas.
Okay, I
Send
love
us
it,
a
dude. See, that's
dollar.
what we need. We need to know your name. All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Ghost Chevrolet. Appreciate Coach Matt House for stopping by. 30 minutes there with the coach, talking LSU defense.
Jordy, I don't think we tell you enough, but like it's amazing that first of all the people that you get in
Thank you,
here,
Katie.
and then that you manage to sit here for 30+ minutes and come up with
Questions.
really good questions for
Yeah.
these people.
Hard hitters.
I don't think
Appreciate
people
that.
realize how hard it is, but it's truly
It ain't easy.
It's unbelievable.
Appreciate that, fellas.
You're the
Katie.
best.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're the best.
Thank
You need
thank
to know that.
Thank you.
We don't tell you enough.
I will include an extra 100 in your paycheck.
All
this
right,
week.
thank you. Take it
right.
out
A
of
little
swear
bonus.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Little,
right.
little brown nose bonus.
jar. I don't think we've had a swear word today yet.
Have we not?
I don't think
Second
we
hour.
have, y'all.
No swearing.
Wow.
Really?
Coming around.
I'm
Yeah.
out.
We do need to tell WAFB that we need to donate the swear jar monthly.
Yeah.
We need to team up with some type of charity
Yeah, we do.
that we can donate the swear jar fines to. Stewie, you still down a couple of dollars. You got to drop it in the bucket.
It's all right.
Can't run from the fines, bro.
I live.
Make sure you hit that like button, share button, comment button. We appreciate you being out there and taking part. We're going to talk some Pelican stuff with Garrick Rattler coming up here in a couple of minutes. Don't forget that we are daily brought to you by Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. Get in touch with our friends over at Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. Easy to get in touch with them. You can get, just all you got to do is call them. 225-776-2431, 225-776-2431. Mention the Jordy Culotta Show and you'll save 15% on the bottom line there. They have experienced carpenters on staff, so if you are looking to remodel, commercial or residential, they can help you out with any of that. Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works, number 1 and the number 2 business. They specialize in all works of plumbing, industrial, commercial, residential. 225-776-2431. Mention the Jordy Culotta Show, and you'll save 15%. We'll talk Pelicans picks coming up in a minute, but yesterday, the huge news of the afternoon was Arch Manning. He pledged his commitment to the University of Texas, and his recruitment is seemingly over. Nelson Stewart, who is the head coach over at Newman down there in New Orleans, has been really kind of the spokesperson for the Mannings and Arch throughout this entire recruitment. And one of the things that I was watching yesterday on Nelson Stewart, one of the things that he had said to a New Orleans media group was that it's over. He's not going to make this choice and pull out of it and decommit and go somewhere else. There has been a lot of information gathering. There has been official visits to campus. There's been a lot of meetings with coaches and quarterbacks coaches and offensive coordinators and people that mean anything to the selected college that was recruiting Arch Manning. But yesterday afternoon, he made it official on the opening day of the Manning Passing Academy. No media, no press conference, just a live tweet, just a tweet out there in a Horns jersey and a Horns T-shirt.
Horns down.
And pledging his commitment to the university. It's an enormous get by Steve Sarkisian. Over the last 2 recruiting cycles, or I guess, you would call it back-to-back recruiting cycles, Steve Sarkisian has pulled the number 1 player in the 2021 cycle when Quinn Ewers transferred back in to the University of Texas. He pledged and went to Ohio State. He left early, all the stuff that happened with the NIL stuff, went up to Columbus for a year. I think he took 4 snaps up there, kept his red shirt, transferred back down to the University of Texas, supposedly got a huge NIL deal, but he's on the University of Texas's campus. He was the number 1 player in the 2021 cycle, and now they get a commitment from the number 1 player in the 2023 cycle. The bad part about that is that they're at the same position. They both play quarterback. Now, obviously, Quinn Ewers will be draft eligible in 2 years. So if there's potential of him, being the starter this year and into next season, which would be Arch's freshman year, then he could be, leaving behind that position and going pro 2 years from now, which would make Arch, kind of open it up for him after his true freshman season. But I'd imagine that Arch is not going in with the mentality that he's going to sit for long. Either way, this is going to be a very polarizing choice and a very enormous pick for Steve Sarkisian. This is huge news for Sark and the Longhorns to be able to get Manning, to be able to outlast guys like Kirby Smart and Nick Saban. Both of those guys were rolling out the red carpet and putting forward their best recruiting pitch. 2 of the 3 of the best recruiters in college football, and we can make all the jokes and talk about what they do, but at the end of it, they're always in the conversation, Kirby Smart and Nick Saban, as being in with the top players. And it's not just because they're paying them. They're relationship builders. Those guys are able to relate and communicate with these people and form relationships. And this is one that they wanted real bad. Nick Saban, by all accounts, wanted Arch Manning bad.
Wonder how he's feeling today.
He probably doesn't have this.
He probably didn't sleep last night.
He probably didn't have this.
Did y'all see Eli's tweet?
He's feeling a lot.
Yeah, with the whole
picture?
family.
They are literally all wearing the exact same outfit. This is
him and Eli are wearing the same exact
They're
outfit.
wearing, Peyton and Eli are wearing the same belt that has the American flag on it. They all have on khaki shorts and basically the same.
I think somebody said, "Is this a Southern Marsh?"
It is like a Southern Marsh ad. It's unbelievable. It's not unbelievable. It's funny.
Great photo. Who's the kid in the middle? Who's
That's Arch's
the
brother,
younger- what's his
who's
name?
the center for Newman.
Ah.
He's the center, and Arch is the quarterback.
What's his name?
He's young though. He's like what?
I think it starts with
He
an
looks like
R.
he's like 12.
It's definitely Fratty.
Yeah, it's a Friday name. Dang it. I know. I read his name yesterday and now I forgot. But yeah, that's him. They all look so much alike.
Is it Dylan?
It's not Dylan. I wish it was though. Texas forever.
Cal. It's probably Cal.
Kyle?
Kyle Manning.
I don't know. Somebody knows this.
Somebody will give the
But
name
it
in the
does look
chat.
like a frat group in the photo.
Archie's the head honcho, the president of
He
the
is
frat.
the president of the frat. Y'all, did y'all watch at all any of the draft last night?
Mm-mm.
I mean, I watched a little bit of it because I wanted to see the outfits, but I think Adam Silver is like not human.
E.T.
Yeah, I think something.
Like,
he
every
does look
time
like
I see
robotic.
Looks like an alien.
He's
Yeah.
less
Looks
human.
like he looks like a pencil. He looks like a penis.
He's
Yeah,
I mean, he looks.
head does look like a little penis.
He looks.
It scares me.
Strange.
Yeah.
He's a
Like,
strange looking guy.
Yeah, he's strange.
It's not right. Like, something's up with him.
And wasn't he not at the finals? Like, didn't he not give the trophy to the Warriors? Wasn't it like
Oh, I don't know.
the-
Was he not?
I think he like missed because he had COVID.
Okay,
so.
maybe so. Well, he was there last night.
Strange looking dude though.
Jeez, he's so strange. And when he smiles, it's like the creepiest
Yo,
thing
yo,
ever.
yo.
Yeah.
Hey.
Don't forget, we have our Foodie Friday segment coming up. Compliments of Iverstein's. We're going to eat in here. Josh from Iverstein's is going to be here. Bringing in a bundle. Bringing in some of their lunch items that they offer now. We've got some breaking news that's happening right now.
Why you got
With
so quiet over
women's
there?
college basketball. Kim Mulkey and the LSU women's staff have just landed the number one player in the country for 2023 as
Wow.
Michaela Williams.
we got from
out
Shreveport?
of Parkview,
Oh my
out of
gosh.
Parkway, out of Shreveport, has committed to LSU. I'm reading from the Shreveport Times.
That's amazing.
Parkway's Michaela Williams, the number one women's basketball recruit in the country for 2023, committed to LSU and Coach Kim Mulkey on Friday morning. Williams is the number one recruit, is the third number one recruit that Mulkey has signed and will sign, joining Brittany Griner and Lauren Cox while she was a coach at Baylor. Both of those athletes were on the national championship team at Baylor. Williams made the announcement on Twitter. She will become the second number one women's basketball recruit nationally to sign with LSU, obviously joining Simone Augustus, who was out of Baton Rouge out of Capitol High School. Williams cannot sign until November 9th, which is the early signing period. But just like the number one player in the country yesterday in football, in Arch Manning, who is out of the state of Louisiana, a day later, the number one basketball player in the country for the class of 2023, Michaela Williams, has pledged her commitment to Coach Kim Mulkey and the LSU staff. Wow. I mean, Mulkey, bro. Incredible, man.
Not surprising at all, though.
No, it's not.
Got our guy too.
It's
We got our guy?
exciting.
All right, hang on. Let's see if I can get her. Let me take a break. We'll be right back with. We're going to talk to our. We're going to talk to our guy, Garrick Rattler, the co-host of New Orleans.network's Pels Talk. That's a part of New Orleans.football. Our friend Nick Underhill. But we'll get the latest on last night's NBA draft. Pelicans pick up the number 8 pick. We will break that down and more, and we will put a text into Kim Mulkey and see if we can't get her, as she just landed the number one player in the country for 2023. All coming back here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Ghost Chevrolet. Don't forget about our friends over at Fresh Chef Kitchen, FreshChefEats.com. Discount code over there, Jordy10.
Yep.
Jordy10 to save on your pre-made meals. Check out what Chef Shane is cooking up online at FreshChefEats.com. FreshChefEats.com is where you can find the latest from Fresh Chef Kitchen. We'll be right back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show. Talking Pels, LSU women's basketball. Nathan Velasquez will be here. We got food coming up with our Foodie Friday segment. Stick around. More coming up here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Ghost Chevrolet. All right, personal testimony from my trip over to Johnson and Spillers. Shout out to my friend Dr. Chad Spillers for taking care of me, man. I had to have my front tooth, a tooth implanted on my front tooth, and it was a hell of an ordeal, but Dr. Spillers and the crew from Johnson and Spillers made it as easy and seamless as possible to work with and have taken the final product, and it is absolutely beautiful. Learn more online at johnsonspillers.com. Whether you're looking for Botox or you need help in any type of dentistry, whether it is dentures, night guards, if you're looking for Invisalign, if you're interested in implant dentistry like I got, you can get in touch with Johnson Spillers. Online, johnsonspillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easiest way to get them, online at johnsonspillers.com. Shout out to Tom Granning from everybody over here at FM Digital Media, as he is our fuel sponsor. Whether it's fuel cards or snacks, he's keeping us going every day at FM Digital Media. If you're out on Highway 61, make sure and stop in and see him over at Go Mart. It is located in Natchez, Mississippi. It is our favorite convenience store, and it's for our guy Tom Granning, who supports us every day over here at FM Digital Media.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you daily by Morales Rolloffs. Morales Rolloffs provides dumpster rentals for residential and commercial needs in Baton Rouge and surrounding areas. Morales has roll-off dumpsters ranging from 10 yards to 40 yards to accommodate all of your disposal needs. Search online, moralesrolloffs.com.
All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Make sure to hit that like button, share button, comment button if you don't mind. Let's jump over and talk to our friend Garrick Rattler, who covers the New Orleans Pelicans, as we said, for a part of the New Orleans .football network over there. You can find it at neworleans.networks, at Pels Pod on Twitter. You can find him at Garrick_Rattler, and on YouTube at NOF.TV for the latest. Busy night for the Pelicans last night as they had 3 picks. Let's wrap them all up here with our guys. We link back up with Garrick Rattler. Garrick, good morning. How are you, brother?
How you doing, man? Good to see y'all again. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, bro. Good to see you back here. Let's start at the top real quick, outside of the Pelicans, then we'll get to the Pelicans. Were you surprised by Paolo Banchero going first?
Yeah, man, the fireworks started early. There was a lot of talk about Jabari Smith going number 1. Orlando seemed to have fallen in love with him. But Woj tweeted, there was some odds, some weird stuff going on in Vegas with the odds, like early in the morning that Paolo had overtaken Jabari as the number 1 pick. And then when Woj announced the pick on ESPN, or when he was close to when they were announcing the pick, he said that it was one of the more shadow operations as far as Orlando goes. So I was surprised to see Paolo go number 1. Paolo is a fantastic player, and I think, it's not a bad choice. I'm not saying that it's wrong in any kind of way, but I thought for sure Jabari was going to be the number 1 pick. That's all you had heard going into the draft. So got some fireworks early in that draft, starting with the number 1 pick.
So there was a lot of surprise out there from Banchero going 1 and Jabari sliding to 3 to Houston. Chet Holmgren went 2nd to Oklahoma City. Then at 8, Dyson Daniels came off the board for the New Orleans Pelicans. What was your reaction to that choice?
Listen, Dyson Daniels has had he has a lot of fans already in New Orleans as far as like the Twitter fan base and things go. A lot of people were really high on Dyson Daniels. I liked him as well. I kind of like Benedict Mathurin a little bit more. I've always been on his, but I like Dyson Daniels. Listen, he's a 19-year-old Australian. You think about the tough guys that's played in the NBA. That's kind of that Australia elk. You talk about Patty Mills, Joe Ingles, Matisse Thybulle, even Ben Simmons to an extent. They bring that toughness on defense, a great playmaking, great basketball IQ. So I think there's a lot to like about Dyson and what he can fit. And he's gonna have to go visit, like I affectionately call him on our podcast, Repairman, man. That's a 90s joke from all that from for my 90s folks, but he's gonna have to go see Fred Vinson, and address the shooting, the shooting things that he has with him. Obviously, the floor being a lot more space than it was in the G League, will help him out a lot with his playmaking ability and his ability to start the breaks and rebound the ball. Listen, he went from 6'6" to 6'8" in the draft, in his kind of draft workout sessions. So he's got a lot of height and a lot of skill to him. He's a thin guy, but I like to tell people, think of him as Herb Jones with that already playmaking built in, that break starting built in. He's a fantastic defender, versatile, up and down the floor, up and down your roster, 1 through 4. He's guarding. So there's a lot to like about him. He's gonna come in and offer a lot of weird. There's gonna be a lot of weird, hard to score on lineups going on Dave Dixon this season. So he's a good player.
Pelicans could throw a lineup on the floor where they got 5 guys 6'8" and taller. I mean, that's an issue. That's a problem, and they all 5 don't have a position.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, man. I mean, listen, you Dyson Daniels could theoretically slide in as a point guard in those lineups, and then you could book in those lineups with the Jackson Hayes, with the Larry Nance, and then just have Zion, Brandon Ingram, or whatever, CJ, whatever, flowing up and down that roster. Up that lineup, and that's just one of the lineups we talk about. We haven't even mentioned Herb Jones and Trey Murphy and those guys. So it's gonna be a lot of mixing and matching and like scientific Frankenstein lineups that Willie Green is going to have a lot of flexibility to deal with.
Garrett, not a lot of pressure on him to play early on, right?
Right. So he's, when you think about Trey Murphy last season, right? Trey Murphy came into the season. Everybody thought that Trey was going to be the guy to take that step in the roster and in the lineups. But you saw that Willie Green wouldn't put him on the floor until he was able to prove himself defensively and things like that. And so when you think about Dyson Daniels coming in now, there's already a solid 5-man starting rotation, and then Trey Murphy is you would think be slotted as a 6-man. You still got Jose Alvarado, who's, your bulldog point guard. And so there's going to be, a lot of guys to already be established and have earned Willie Green's trust. And so, bringing in Dyson Daniels, giving him the opportunity to kind of learn on the fly without having to rely on him to contribute is going to do wonders for his development.
What did you make of the 41st selection in E.J. Liddell out of Ohio State?
So my little brother, he just graduated from Ohio State. So he texted me as soon as they drafted E.J. Liddell. He's a huge fan, been watching his game. So I've been kind of keeping up with a little bit of E.J. Liddell, and I think it's a home run, man. I think that pick is one of those picks that we're going to look back and say, how did he fall that low, right? He was on a lot of people's draft board. He had first round talent. I saw him go as high as like 19 and 20. And for the Pelicans to get him at 41, listen, he's 6'7", 244 pounds. He's undersized with the height, but he makes it up for the bulk and things like that. He's a great defensive guy, right? He's a chase down block artist, high motor. He's going to give you everything, on the defensive end, but he has a little bit of both games, right? He led the Buckeyes in scoring at 19 points a game, and then also led them in rebounds. And then obviously when we talk about shooting, his 3-point percentage has gone up every year he's been there. He's a junior. It's probably why he slid down, because he's a junior, and most organizations like underclassmen, like the younger guys, closer to teenagers you can get. But we saw last year with Jose Alvarado and Herb Jones that those guys that come in with experience in the college game can contribute immediately. The one issue that I have with E.J. Liddell is that he talked about his MCU movie rankings, and he had Ant-Man and the Wasp #1, and that's something that hopefully we can get addressed with him early, because that shouldn't be the #1. But listen, E.J. Liddell is a home run pick at 41. A lot of talking heads and national media have already talked about how it's incredible that he slid down that far. But the Pelicans once again finding a gem in the second round.
Karlo Matkovic, know anything about his game?
Yeah. He's a 6'11" Serbian shooter, big man, power forward center. I think he's going to be more of a draft and stash kind of project for the Pelicans. Kind of have him go back to his league. I think it was the Serbian Adriatic League. He's going to go there and continue to develop. because there's a lot of roster. The roster spots are already filling up quickly. We see with EJ Liddell. There's going to be some situations where the Pelicans are already at 17 roster spots. 16 with the assumption that Tony Snell, Jared Harper, and Gary Clark aren't coming back. And so you can only have 15. And so we're already looking at situations where the likes of like a Garrett Temple or Devontae Graham, those type of guys are going to be, are going to be looked at as if EJ Liddell is the guy that they like. That's going to be a situation where those contracts have to be discussed or moved or bought out in the case of Garrett Temple. So, we'll see. But I think Makovich is going to be a draft and stash type of guy.
Garrick, what was your reaction to see some of the pictures of Zion that came out earlier this week? My man looks like he's motivated.
Yeah, man. It's good to see, outside of his obviously wondrous physical physique and what the NBA should be really, really on alert for. It's just good to see him in the community and see him. Yeah. It looks like he's in a much better place than he was when he was rehabbing and doing those things out in the community, playing ball with the kids in the community in the parks outside in downtown New Orleans. To be playing basketball in New Orleans in this heat with this humidity, yeah. You gotta at least love the game and love the city and love the community that you're playing in. And so it's good to see him. But man, he looks fantastic. He looks in some of the best shape that he's ever been. It looks a little bit more like he went back to the Duke shape, but added more like NBA bulk and NBA ready, NBA ready size. So it's going to be interesting to see how Willie Green employs this heat-seeking missile that he's going to be getting back for the regular season. So he looks good, and I'm just glad he's in a good headspace.
Garrick, do you expect guys like Alvarado, Herb Jones, and Murphy to play Summer League?
Yeah, so last season, Willie Green coached the summer league team, and I would assume it was because he knew that some of these young guys was going to get some minutes, and it was his first year coaching. He wanted to get comfortable with the players and things like that. But now, I expect Jose to be out there. I expect Trey Murphy to be out there. I'm not sure about Herb, only because he has been thrusted into a starting role, and he kind of looks like a guy that's going to be a lock for a starting role. I would love to see him so that at the summer league, so that he could kind of go out there and work on that 3-ball, get as many of 3-ball shots up in a regulated, officiated game with other teams defending him. So I would love to see him play that. And listen, the Pelicans were, if you listen to Najee Marshall, they were the summer league champions last year. They were undefeated. And so, they're looking to have another roster of gritty defensive minded guys with Dyson Daniels, EJ Liddell, the likes of those guys out there. So I would love to see her, but I expect to see Trey and Jose out there for sure.
Check out Garrick and his brother on the Pels Pod. They co-host it. You can check them out on Twitter at Pels Pod. You can hit Garrick directly at Garrick_Rettler. He's a part of our boy Nick Underhill's podcast network over there at NewOrleans.network. Great energy, great information this morning, Garrick. We'll be checking in again soon, man.
Thank you so much for having me on, man. Y'all have a great day.
All right, man. There he is, Garrick Rattler, wrapping up last night's Pelicans picks as they took 3 last night. And those were the latest. We're going to talk to Kim Mulkey coming up here next, as she just landed the #1 player in the country. Obviously, she cannot talk directly about her, but we're going to dance all around the subject with Coach Mulkey next year. Remember, we're brought to you by GoFlow, GEAUX, FlowIV.com. GoFlowIV.com. They got a promo code over there. If you mention that you heard it on the Jordy Culotta Show, 15% savings if you're looking for a little energy boost for the weekend. This heat got you sweating. You need a little bit of an IV. You need to pump some fluids into you. Get over to GoFlow IV and Spa. They're on Jefferson Highway. They are Baton Rouge's premier medical spa. They specialize in IV hydration with vitamin infusions. Get over there and check them out online. They recommend that you make an appointment. They do take walk-ins, but they always have a wait if you walk in. Easier if you just make the appointment. Easiest way to do it is just log online. GEAUX, FlowIV.com, GoFlowIV.com. Michaela Williams, the #1 basketball player, #1 women's basketball player in the country for the recruiting cycle of 2023, who is from Shreveport up at Parkway High School, pledged her commitment to LSU. And Kim Mulkey this morning. We will talk to Coach Mulkey next here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Looking to book a dumpster but no idea how? We've made it quick and easy for you. Check out our website at moralesrolloffs.com. Let Morales Rolloffs know your desired delivery date, and finally, provide your contact details. To make payment, look out for an email invoice with all your booking details. On delivery day, our driver will notify you through text and email that your dumpster is ready and on the way. Now you know how easy and convenient it is. Call Morales Rolloffs at 225-427-0000 for your dumpster.
All right, we've talked to people close enough to the Michaela Williams situation to know that Michaela, who is the number one player in the country, the number one women's basketball player in the 2023 cycle, was fielding, obviously, scholarship offers from every school in the country. She could handpick wherever she wanted to go to, and the LSU staff, prior to Kim Mulkey getting here, wasn't even on the radar for Michaela Williams. LSU had no shot to get to Williams. I don't even know if she gave him a visit unofficially when the prior staff was here. Kim Mulkey named to the job before last season. They make an incredible run, go from one of the worst teams in the league to second in the league, an incredible win turnaround, national coach of the year. Next thing you know, the number one player in the country, who's up at Shreveport in Parkway High School, pledges her commitment at the front of the summer before her senior season to LSU women's basketball. LSU women's basketball is about to be a rocket ship onto the national scene. They gave you a little bit of they gave you a little bit of something to look forward to next season, but the amount of players and what's happening with LSU women's basketball, you can feel the momentum is rolling downhill right now on the rest of the sport. Whether it was the hiring of Bob Starkey, whether it was the recruiting class that has been brought in, or the latest news of Michaela Williams pledging to LSU. Now, we cannot talk directly about Michaela to their head coach, Kim Mulkey, who's the best in the business, the Hall of Famer. But we can celebrate huge news with Coach Mulkey here and just starting the summer. Coach, what a great day to be an LSU Tiger fan. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. Listen, life is good. My boy Johnny, he's coming out of retirement. He just decided, you know what? I'm not going to retire yet. And then today is my granddaughter's 1-year birthday, and life is good, man.
Life is great, Coach, especially if you were a ticket buyer to the LSU women's basketball program. Some huge news with obviously Coach Mulkey's granddaughter turning 1 year old. Everybody's celebrating that today. That's why everybody's in a great mood because of what's happening around.
You got that right.
Absolutely.
You got that right. And if I live long enough and coach long enough, I'll make sure she becomes an LSU Tiger.
Hey, and odds are she'll probably be the number one basketball player in the country her senior season, and LSU will have a chance to land her. And if they do, that'll only be the third time ever they've done it. Coach, how's the offseason going for the ladies? With the crew that's in now, how is that pointed towards next season with the summer workouts?
Well, first of all, let me say this about Bob Starkey and Gary Reedus the third, my two new coaches. If you haven't met them, Jordy, you need to meet them. You know Bob's been around LSU a long time. He coached with Dale Brown and coached Shaquille O'Neal, and then he got on the women's side, and what an honor to have him come back and help me. And he will help me on the floor so much because he can do individuals where I can take a break and come celebrate with my granddaughter this weekend. And then Gary Reedus, if you don't know him, he's a young up-and-coming coach. His father, Gary Reedus, played 13 years in Major League Baseball, so go look him up. He was with Philadelphia and the Reds and a bunch of different organizations, but he has got just unbelievable energy. He's married to a former women's basketball player from Georgia Tech, 2 beautiful children. So I'm really, really blessed because if you don't have good assistant coaches that'll do the work for you and allow you some time off, you'll burn out in this profession.
Amen. Coach, talk about what the responsibility is for the offseason for your strength coach and what you are holding them accountable for, and what you expect the team to look like when you get them back in the fall?
Well, Jordy, I can't believe you brought that up, because I also have a new strength coach. He was with me during the third national championship at Baylor. His name is Thomas Lanny, and Thomas has got the girls doing their thing this summer and getting them in, I won't say getting them in shape, I would say shaping their bodies and mentally doing things to keep them away from injury when we do start. And he is just really good, and I'm so glad I was able to hire him. And that's what they're doing in the summer. The first session of summer school, it was mainly the returning players on the team. Second session of summer school begins next weekend, or toward the end of the week. The remaining team will be here, and so we'll have just about everybody on campus except for Poa. She's in Australia with her family and taking her last summer school class to graduate, and then she'll be here in the fall. So it'll be good to have them on campus. I get nervous sometimes in summer because it's different than when the regular school session is in session, because it's quieter, a little bit more laid back, and I worry about them getting homesick. But nonetheless, they'll be here at the end of next week, and it'll be good to hug them and do some individual workouts with them and get going.
Coach, you were able to bring in national players in this last recruiting cycle, whether it was Flo J. Johnson or even transfer portal players like Angel Reese, who pledged to LSU. How have you changed the approach to recruiting for LSU women's basketball, where so many national prospects, big-time prospects, number one type prospects in the country are paying attention to what's going on in Baton Rouge now?
Well, I think several things take place. I think, one, you have to adjust and adapt to new things, the NIL, the transfer portal. You can't just fight what you believe and don't believe should happen. Just embrace whatever the rules are and go after it. I think being in the game as long as I have, I think my reputation helps, and everybody saw what we were able to do at Baylor. And then lastly, the season we had last year, and that's what I attribute a lot of it to. But you have to remember, those 4 freshmen we signed early, and the junior college player in Poa, they signed before we really ever had the season we did. So something had to attract them to LSU. Was it their official visit? Was it the coaching staff? Was it the brand LSU? I don't know, but I can tell you they jump-started this program, and they're probably as excited about the future as the coaches are.
Real quick, you mentioned that it's your granddaughter's birthday. Happy birthday. What a great day this is, and what a weekend it's going to be. But last time we talked, Kramer got the call up from the Cardinals. Now he's playing with the Braves. He's got that big league contract. What's life like for Kramer Robertson right now?
He's great. I got to see him about 4 games a week or 2 ago. It's Atlanta. Of course, you know how Atlanta is. There's so much to do, but he's with the Gwinnett Stripers. That's a bass. Everybody proceeded to tell me that. I said, guys, you think I've never fished in Louisiana? I know what a striper is. But he's doing great. Actually, if you look at his stats, he's leading off just about every game, playing second, third, and occasionally short. His on base percentage is off the charts. It's in the 400s. It doesn't even match his batting average. He's just a hard out. He is just doing so good. He's on their 40-man roster, and he's so grateful to the Cardinals, because he wouldn't be in this position without the Cardinals having moved him up. And I've learned a lot about baseball. And I said, did you get traded? He goes, no, Mom. He said, the Cardinals would never want to get rid of me, but when you get taken off the 40-man, it's called DFA'd, and any organization has a week to pick you up. So I've learned more about baseball than I've ever known, but it's all good, and he's so close to being on that major league roster every day. Yeah,
that's what I was about to say. He feels so close. Coach, I was on campus, I believe 3 weeks ago, and there was hundreds, felt like thousands of campers on campus for the Kim Mulkey basketball camp. How was that experience? Your first as LSU's coach?
It was awesome. Bob Starkey's been around LSU a long time. He said, Kim, this is the largest day camp in the history of women's basketball at LSU. And he said, I can say that emphatically. because I was here. Over 400 kids. We also held a team camp, had almost 30 teams the Saturday before. It was our first because, I didn't do anything last year. I was too busy hiring coaches and moving coaches. And so we just had a very, very successful camp. If there was one negative, and I know Dr. Tate and Scott Woodward will hear from it, we got to get parking, man. It's too hard for parents and grandparents to park and get into that PMAX. So I don't know the answer, but I know during summer camp, we got to make it a little bit easier for people to drop their kids off and pick them up where they don't have to walk a mile.
I expect a blacktop by next camp season. When the Queen Mulkey speaks, she gets what she wants. Happy birthday to Sage Avery. Congratulations on what's going on with Kramer. And wow, huge news today that everybody will be celebrating.
Weekend. You can bet I'm going to have a great weekend. And, I don't drink, but I tell you, if I was a drinking person, tonight might be the time to do it.
Yes, ma'am. We'll see you later. Go Tigers.
Take care.
All right, there she is. Kim Mulkey checking in this morning after landing the number one player in the country, Michaela Williams, as she pledges to LSU. You heard,
glad
Coach.
I have my season tickets.
Man, they're going to be going up.
I know it.
They'll be going up.
I know it.
And whoever's ahead of parking, whoever's in charge of parking,
good luck.
Y'all just got a work order come across your desk. Whoever was expecting a building on South Stadium Drive, you're out. That's going to be a blacktop. All right, Food Friday coming up next. We're going to talk to our friends from Iverstein's. We also got to get to Nathan Velasquez.
How are we going to do all this? He's making sandwiches in there, and I'm so excited.
I did not send. I didn't send Nathan a
Send him a link. Send him a link.
Another link.
We'll be back. More of the Jordy Culotta Show here, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
I love a sandwich.
Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU, bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU, bluewater.com. All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Ghost Chevrolet. We're going to tell you about our friends over at Men's Total Health Care before we get out of here at 9 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Josh from Iverstein's is in the kitchen right now cooking up some sandwiches, some summer fun, man, over at Iverstein's. He's going to tell us all about the expansion, the new shop, and everything going on over at the new digs coming up here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Stick around. But let's go to one of our favorites. Every Friday we link up with our guy, Nathan Velasquez. He's up in New York City. He's got the 5-Minute Critic. You can find him all over social media, on YouTube, wherever you are on social media. Hit him up at 5-Minute Critic. Nate, good morning. How are you, buddy?
Pretty good, pretty good. Got some family in town actually this weekend. So after this, I turn into just the New York tour person. I'll be on tour all weekend.
They crashing at the place, or they get a hotel?
That's not possible. I could pretend and brag and be like, yeah, we got 2,000 square feet. It's a Manhattan apartment. No one's crashing here.
Yeah, Dad, Mom, y'all are on the couch, and y'all going to have to put y'all's heads on each end, feet to the face, because we don't have a lot of room here.
Aren't you kind of glad you don't have room, though?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, right?
It's a perfect excuse. Every time I had a friend that was going to come into town, and you're just like, man, we can't do it. Like, you want to be on the floor? Like, we really want to do that? Like, that can't.
We'd love to. That's the thing. We would love to. We just can't.
It's not up to me.
We just can't do it. Yeah,
you're not going to like it.
Yeah, right. That's why I love Nate. Nathan, another one that I love, and this makes when I saw it the first time, I said, I bet you Nathan loves this. Death at a Funeral, the comedy on Hulu.
Have you seen it?
Yes. Do you love it?
Yeah. No, it is fantastic. I had seen this when I was like 14 years old, like a while ago. So like I saw it, came across on Hulu. It's on Hulu. You have got to check it out if you have not seen it. It is, it's not hyperbole, one of the absolute funniest movies of all time.
You forgot about it.
Does
you
not
forget about
stop.
Chris Rock and Tracy Morgan?
Chris Rock.
Okay. Well, I'll say this. I would go for the original. I would say go for the original on Hulu. The original takes place in England, and the main character is Tom from Succession. For me, like, it's got that like dry British humor. I would say it's much more. It's a bit darker, but I think they do a bit of a better job with it. I think the laughs come much quicker with that one. It's the one from 2007. It's on Hulu, but like I am not kidding. It was one of those things where it's like. I saw it years ago, so there's no way. I was probably just young, thought it was funny or something like that, so it's not going to hold up. It is like, I cannot believe that it's probably top 20 for me. Has to be top 20, like movies. Like, it is really, really fantastic. Really have to check that out if you haven't seen it.
On Hulu, check it out.
Yeah.
Death at a Funeral. It's fantastic. Nathan, Hulu feels like they have, from a digital standpoint, they have their identity. They know who they are. They don't have the problem charging their monthly fee. Netflix feels totally opposite. They're about to put their quarterly earnings out, and they just laid off 300 employees before that information goes public. What do you make of what's going on at Netflix right now?
I think that the perception of the whole streaming wars things is that Netflix is king. And yeah, right now, if you want to talk about who's making the most amount of money, who's putting out the most content, Netflix seems like a sure bet. Like, if you really want to put your money somewhere, Netflix seems like, you know what, maybe if they're not doing well, then, in the long run, this is just kind of like a bump in the road. But remember, with Blockbuster in particular, if it is very easy to go from just the top of the hill to being at the bottom of the heap. It is very, very fast that fall can happen. Earlier this year, Netflix, they lost 200,000 subscribers. And they told everyone, look, you're going to have to prepare. We're going to lose 2 million in the next quarter at least. So 7 days before they're supposed to announce how they've been doing this quarter, they announce that, no, they don't announce, they fire 300 people. Yeah. And Netflix is not, they don't have, hundreds of thousands of people work for, like, this is not, they're a huge company, but they don't have the staff of Facebook. So it's not hundreds, like, that's a lot of people for them, firing 300 people out of nowhere, it seems. So it seems like a signal that what we're going to hear, it's probably maybe even going to be worse than losing 2 million subscribers. Last time, their knee-jerk reaction was announcing that they're going to be cracking down on password sharing, which is the stupidest thing that Netflix could be doing. Netflix does not, when you look into what are they doing in the future, like what is their legacy plan right now, they're looking at gaming. I don't know if you've seen it on Netflix. They've got like the promotion for a gaming app. You can download another like arcade app for Netflix. Well, you've got people like Apple and Amazon who are looking into sports, or you've got Hulu who has put all of its money into like live TV packages. People, if they want to move from cable, they can go to Hulu. Netflix just is not, it's not so much that they're making mistakes right now, but they're not doing a good job at taking steps forward that makes people feel confident about them. So, I mean, yes, I'm not here to say Netflix, you know, in 5 months is going to go under, and they're not, but it is very fast that a company can fall. And it's been very consistent right now that Netflix is not doing great in inspiring confidence in people right now.
Nathan, I'm with you that they probably can't vanish in 6 months here, but aren't they becoming slowly a cautionary tale in the streaming world?
Well, and another thing to realize, it's a long game if you want to create a streaming service and make a profit. No streaming service has made a profit. And you know, there are a lot of companies that's okay for. It's okay for Hulu. It's okay for, I mean, Hulu's owned by Disney. So sure. Disney's main revenue is not going to be Disney Plus. Apple has Apple TV. That's like a pet project for them. Apple doesn't have to be relying on Apple TV. They're worth I think over $1 trillion. So, and they just got an Oscar. Like, this is just, they're kind of playing around with their streaming service. HBO Max as well. HBO Max, that's Warner Brothers. So, like, they've got a lot of money coming in that is not just, their streaming services don't have to be making a profit right now. They can play the long game. Netflix is not making a profit, and they're pushing into other countries, and it's spending a lot of money, and it doesn't seem like they're getting any closer to actually making a profit. And so while it does seem like, it's always seemed like they're going to be the ones, that's the thing. How do you win the streaming wars? Whoever turns a dollar first. Netflix has always seemed like the one that's going to do it. And now in the last like 8 months, it's becoming a question of like, it actually might not be Netflix that makes it. Like, it could very well be Amazon. Like, Amazon, most valuable company on the planet. They don't actually need to be making a profit with their streaming services. I'm not going to be surprised if in 15 years, the story is that Netflix kind of laid the groundwork, but they weren't actually able to get enough capital to compete with the other people that could play the long game. I don't think that's actually going to be that surprising based on what's been coming out in the last 8-9 months.
Nathan, what the hell's going on with Ezra Miller? Guns, drugs, kids? What the hell's going on?
Speaking of Warner Brothers. So yeah, Warner Brothers, their whole DC stuff is a mess. They like Superman, they can't get it figured out. Batman, I don't know what the look. Some people like Ben Affleck as Batman. I was not a fan of Ben Affleck as Batman. He had the chin, that was good. But now we've got the Flash. They spent like $200 million, a little over $200 million on the Flash. It was supposed to come out in 2018. They get it pushed back. Obviously, everything's pushed with COVID going on. So they say 2023 is when they're going to release it. Like, this budget is ballooning to gargantuan amounts. And in the last, it's sad, but also kind of funny. Story after story in the last 3 months of their star, Ezra Miller. It's like 7 stories now. At first, he was in Hawaii. He had like assaulted like a woman at a party. He threw a chair at her. And then a story comes out that he like threw darts at a guy at a bar. Something else came out. He did something else. And Warner Brothers is pretty much like, hey, we're not making a comment on this. We're not going to do anything. Causes a social media storm, but the news cycle is like 5 minutes, so it's going to move on to something else. But then there's stuff that's like Ezra Miller reported was giving LSD, marijuana, and alcohol to a 12-year-old. And it was like, okay, well, that's not great. And it's like, wait, never mind, it was 3 12-year-olds. And it's like, oh my God. So Warner Brothers is like, okay, we put out the Flash movie, but that's all we're going to do. There's a story that comes out yesterday. Ezra Miller is like, got a woman and 3 children and on a farm, and there's like a photo going around of a baby with a bullet in its mouth. It's like, what in the... But first of all, there's the story of what in the world is going on with Ezra Miller. This is the weirdest story of all time. But the part that kind of interests me is, what is Warner Brothers going to do? And we're not... it's easy to cancel a movie. If you've got a script, maybe you're planning what you're going to do, and then, you end up that one of your stars is doing some terrible stuff. It's like, close it all down. This movie is filmed... They've got this movie in the editing stages. Like, everything is there. It's the main character. You can't reshoot the whole thing. So the thing I'm wondering is Warner Brothers going to just scrap a $200 million movie that's been on the books for almost 5 years now? It's a very weird story. And I mean, if more stories come out like this, I don't see how you can't do it. Like, the actor is becoming a bit of a joke now. Like, it's ridiculous.
It's amazing. I mean, as the onion unfolds here on Ezra Miller. I mean, like,
every time it's trending, every time his name is trending, it's like, what now? And it's like, oh wow, he owns a farm and he's housing 3 children on the. What in the world is? How are you able to continue to do all this stuff?
It is truly amazing. I mean, like, it is a crazy.
It's
story.
Weird stuff.
And maybe the saddest story to come out of Hollywood in the last 50 years. Brad Pitt sees the finish line.
Yeah, he said he had an interview with GQ where what did he say? He said he's in the last. It's a weird way of saying it. He said, I'm in the last semester of a trimester of my career. It's a weird way of wording it, but he was pretty much saying like he's kind of seeing the end, the finish line, and that is, it's sad to hear it. He's a very good actor. Personally, I feel like in the broad scheme of things, I like it more when an actor does that, like kind of has their legacy in mind. I feel like it's much more respectable. Like take people like Tarantino, who is saying, I got one more movie and then I'm done. Because, the consensus pretty much is that you're not, the older you get, especially in entertainment, you're not going to get better. You're not going to be you're not going to do your best work in your 70s, 80s, maybe 90s. I mean, Clint Eastwood still directs and he does a solid job, but that's rare. That's very rare. People like Jack Nicholson, I feel like it's more respectable that Jack Nicholson just said, guys, I'm done. I did my work. My best work's there. I'm not going to ruin and bore you with 15 years and come out with some like Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando was embarrassing the last 10 years. Like Daniel Day-Lewis is another person who decided, look, I'm just done. Like it is sad, but I also think it is very respectable whenever an actor kind of has the self-awareness to kind of be like, you got to leave the party at some point. Like I'm not going to hang around and just kind of like annoy you with these kind of like lame performances. Honestly, yeah, I think it's sad, but I don't think it's a bad move.
I don't believe him. It's like Tom Brady vibes. Is that why he did a cameo in The Lost City though? Like, because that was so odd to me.
That's another thing. It is also weird to hear him talking about like what my legacy is, and it's like, well, you're in The Lost City. You like showed up in Deadpool. Like you're not you're not really doing a Daniel Day-Lewis thing where like you only do one role every 4 years and then you get an Oscar. Like he's coming out with like The Bullet Train in a few weeks. Like he likes to have fun, so we'll see. Like it could have just been posturing. I do feel like he collaborates with Tarantino a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of put the bug in his ear of like, dude, when actors start reaching like those last years, no one looks fondly on that last chapter. No one looks fondly on the last 10 years of Marlon Brando's career. Like that, there's something, as you said, about walking away. But we'll also see what Steven Soderbergh, the Oscar-winning director from Baton Rouge. That was, that was another. He said he was stepping away a few years back, and that lasted like, I think 3 months, and then he came back to. So you never know. Like you could. There are people that are kind of like, hey, I'm serious about this. Like I got it in the career. Like I'm not gonna. Maybe I'll just go to producing or something like that. And then you have those that can't stay out of the limelight. So I don't know. We'll see. But hey, Brad Pitt has not been doing bad work.
No, not at all. Not at all. Is it a natural evolution to make the transition from the front of the camera to behind the camera for some of these? Is that like a part of the process? I would say it's the smartest move, particularly for an actor that wants to stay in the business. Like the adage is pretty much, if it's not so much like getting the hits in the business, it's being able to stay in the business as long as possible. And that, especially for an actor, is the best move. Brad Pitt is the CEO of Plan B, which is, put out great movies like Assassination of Jesse James, The Departed. Like he does really good work behind the camera. He's the CEO of that company. So he clearly has a vision and a direction in terms of business, not just necessarily in front of the camera, showing up, reading some lines. He's very good at that. He does a good job at putting up movies. So that's probably going to be what he does. And, good for him. He reminds me a lot of Robert Redford. He seems to do the type of thing that Robert Redford did, which was maybe be in front of the camera every now and then. But the primary focus is, being a titan in the business, like kind of pushing the industry in a direction they want it to go in. And he's proven to be pretty good at that. He puts out good stuff when it comes to producing. Nate, you writing the itinerary today for the family members? You doing you tour guiding, or are they telling you where they want to go?
I think it'll be a little bit of both. Probably just going to walk through Central Park for a bit, maybe hit one of the museums. But yeah, I mean, that's the fun thing about New York. You don't really you can just walk around and find a bunch of stuff to do that you had no idea that was there. It's the best part of the city.
Beautiful time of the year. Is it hot now? Has it gotten hot?
It's getting hot. Well, it's getting hot, but I hear it's hotter down where you are right now.
Oh my God,
ridiculous.
it's miserable. It's like 150.
It's a sauna.
I saw it's supposed to be like 100 or something today. That's yeesh.
Tell the family hello. Enjoy the weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. See y'all later.
Nathan Velasquez, the 5-minute critic, checking in from New York City this morning on the latest there out of Hollywood. Remember our friends over at Edward Jones. You can get in touch with Daniel Newman, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Daniel.Newman at edwardjones.com. Easy to find him there, as you can get in touch with Daniel Newman this morning. Ask him about fiscal advice if you need investment strategy, if you're looking for help in what's going on with your finances. Get in touch with our friend Daniel Newman, Daniel.Newman at edwardjones.com. We will have our food segment here, compliments of Iverstein's, and get out of here for the weekend when we come back on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in LaPlace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. City Cafe online at citycafebr.net, where good friends meet. Great food and even better service, located in the shopping center behind Rite Aid on the corner of George O'Neill and O'Neill Lane. They cater for parties big and small. Sundays, they serve a fantastic brunch that starts at 10 a.m. They have daily lunch specials. And remember, you can look at everything online at citycafebr.net. We'll give a shout-out to Squeaky Miranda, Cody Miranda, Dirk and the crew, everybody over at City Cafe for their support here at the Jordy Culotta Show. Online, citycafebr.net.
All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Compliments to our friends over at Iverstein's for, as always, our Foodie Friday segment. A little different twist this week as the cooking couple is out, a little under the weather. We hope they'll be better for next week. But we got to grab Josh, who's been in here, the thespian, and the butcher, who is here.
Oh, God, that's good.
Yeah, it's good. Good
Is it okay to go ahead and get into this?
This was
absolutely. No, not yet. Not yet.
I had to talk about it.
Pull back.
I promised you a little improv that I was good at it.
Yes.
And then you asked me to prepare something, and I'm not.
I can tell how awkward you are in your preparedness.
Yes.
Yes.
It's kind of like dinners. Wife's like, we
Right.
should improv. What do you want?
Wait,
to
would you want
tonight?"
me to, you wanted me to
Responsible.
study for the test? I just do best when I show up and
No.
cheat off of my neighbor, right?
But it actually presented itself with the best opportunity, like most improvs do, right? So this stuff is actually made in-house at Iverson Butcher. I have a
This
chicken salad.
Great.
God, it's good.
Damn, it's good.
Which is the standard little tomato, little lettuce on that bad boy.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then
Jamil approves.
And then I have this is a summer sausage with jalapeno and
hell
cheddar.
yeah.
With just a little mayo
Looks
and,
like bologna.
and mustard. So for like the meat eaters, because it's perfect. It's it's 100-some degrees outside.
Uh-huh.
That's
You got ball
good.
practice or tournaments and stuff, and it's like no one wants to eat a hot meal. Something quick you can put in the ice chest with your waters and your Gatorades and stuff like that. And so chicken salad and sandwiches are just. And you always forget how good they are, right?
I know.
Like, I don't eat a sandwich. It's
Easy.
that's
I
for
do eat
peasants.
sandwiches.
Yeah.
I love
I love
them.
a good sandwich.
But sandwiches, you eat it and you're like, damn, I forgot how much I love
I know.
sandwiches. It's like one of the greatest foods ever
It
invented.
really is.
Is hot dog a sandwich?
It could be, right? It's
between
in the
two
sandwich
pieces of bread,
category,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hamburger.
That's what we talk about.
No pictures on the scorecard. You know what I mean?
That's right.
It's meat between two pieces of bread. It's a sandwich.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Right.
But
Bro, I went to the new spot the other day.
yeah,
Iverstein's located on Perkins Road. Perkins Crossing is the shopping center.
that's right.
If you are heading towards Bluebonnet from College, Acadian, and you're going towards Bluebonnet in that direction, as soon as you pop in, as soon as you cross over Essen Lane, on your left, Perkins Crossing Shopping Center, in the corner is the new Iverstein's, and it is spacious. It is wide selections. This looks like you guys have finally made it to what looks like meat heaven. Okay, yes, I understand. I need to keep talking this thing out so you can chew it up.
I'm
I know you're good. But I mean, just the space, bro. I mean, like it is. You forget. It had been a while before the last time I had been. I believe it was a Lebanese restaurant. Before that, it was
like
Romans.
something,
right,
and then like
right.
a salad place. There's a bunch of awkward lettuce on the wall when we like.
Yes, yes, I remember that.
So
That
fun,
wallpaper
yeah. Not
in the
lettuce
waiting
over
area,
but-
in the to-go area.
Yeah, that's right. But it's
But
a lot
y'all
of-
have just kind of overhauled that place into what looks like very efficient, great selections. But just tell them about the new place. I'm going to take the bite now. You
Yeah,
got
you
to
take the bite, you eat, you guys enjoy it, and I'll riff for a little bit. The new space we opened up last Saturday, so about a week we've been open, and opening day was fantastic, as opening days always are, right? Loads of space. That was, I thought, another great thing to bring these sandwich meats in, because we're not just a butcher. You don't need to worry about coming in and just coming in for steaks or chops. We have sandwich meat.
Yeah.
We have house-made chicken salad. I
didn't
saw
know.
I saw a local baker in the to-go thing this morning with cheesecake. A local a baker with some cheesecake items. So we have a to-go
Wow.
thing. We're trying to incorporate more local farmers. I saw I think an Instagram, Birdie's Berries, if I'm remembering
Okay.
correctly. So we have blueberries that just came in from a local
Nice.
grower. Fresh tomatoes. We had some summer squash, everything like that from
Yeah.
Fullness Farms down here. So we're trying to keep it as local. We're not just a steak and chop.
I want to know about that lunch line because I saw turnip greens on Instagram the other day. And I
The
was
lunch line was
excited.
The lunch line,
Bro.
and those have been fire.
Welcome back, Soul Food to Baton Rouge.
Yeah,
Man, I've
it's
been
really
waiting for
good.
that.
It was the opening.
Who remembers
day
the Silver Moon Cafe?
They do a
Rest
meat
in
and
peace.
three, as I mentioned, I think last week. But a meat. We do baked chicken thighs. We did smoked ribs yesterday. We did some Wagyu tri-tip.
Really?
Yesterday, like that's one of my favorite cuts, just
Yeah.
in general. And he was serving it. I was really jealous. I was on the road, but
Are y'all busy? Is the lunch line busy?
Yeah.
I mentioned it to my
Yeah.
husband, and he didn't even know about it. And I mean, he's a meat and three. And
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh my, I got to get
That
there."
is, yeah. So he's been rocking. He thinks they've
Good.
been doing good. So we're trying to also let people know that we have the to-go things.
Yeah.
So that was another thing. I actually brought the chicken salad, and there's a pasta salad in your fridge.
Appreciate that, buddy.
Nice.
I was gonna put on here, but I didn't have any silverware, so I had to improv and make the chicken salad into a sandwich.
Sorry about that.
I
We're
love
still in the
it.
moving process.
We do have some. I'll show you where it is for
There's
next
still
time.
the moving
No,
process.
I think this actually working out a little better.
Mm-hmm.
But fantastic new space with just a lot of things that outside of just steaks and chops. So come and visit us, have lunch, shop local vegetables, seasonings, dips, deli meat. You know, we don't just do summer sausage. We do make a house-made bologna, which is
Getting
in the
on
smoker
that.
now. Yeah, and I wish I could have brought it because you know, Galen's like, I was trying to get
Bologna
people to
summer
try
sandwich,
bologna.
bro.
Oh, so
Takes
good.
you back.
I know.
Take you back.
I like to fry up some bologna.
Tell us about the bundles too. I know you brought a frozen bundle, but
I did. Yeah, we'll get to it eventually.
Yeah.
I'll keep bringing it, and eventually we'll
Absolutely.
get to it. Yeah.
But you're still open for delivery right now. You can hop
Open
online.
for delivery. It was great. Fantastic. I had a great day yesterday. A bunch of new people signed up since we opened up the new store, which is really great. So $125 a month.
And you can sign up online, right?
Online, yep. Go to iversteinfarms.com. At the upper right-hand corner, there's a bundles and order now. So.
And you pick what goes in the bundle, right?
Yeah.
Like we don't pick it.
You don't pick.
It's like a
we
surprise.
pick. It's like a surprise, and I send an email out every week before your delivery to give you an idea of like a recipe or something to try. So our big one is a rump roast, right? People think, okay,
nice.
just your standard potatoes and carrots or whatever.
Drop it off a little ass to you.
I threw a little roast beef po' boy recipe in.
Nice.
So you give the recipes to give with the
put
meat. That's
email.
perfect.
Yeah, because I know you probably know what to do with the rump roast and your standard
I
stuff,
don't.
but
I would stare at it and be like, I have no idea what to do with it.
worst case,
Just a nice ass.
always throw it in the crock pot.
Good athlete.
Yeah.
Easy. I can do
Anything
that.
you stew or braise down for 8 hours is going to be tender.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just throw some broth in there.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I can do
Bro,
that.
both sides of this sandwich.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm going back and
I'm already
forth.
done.
Hey, there's a couple more in there. I made a loaf of bread.
Incredible.
So
basically,
I
if
always
you-
try to do.
So basically, if you stew anything,
Yeah,
it'll be great.
that's right. Yeah. So, but there's a whole lot of things you can do with the rump roast. Yeah, stewy. I like it. That's good. But yeah, I picked.
Might
the
make your
stuff.
ass grow.
Probably so.
So it's always going to be a roast, steaks and chops, ground
Okay.
meat, breakfast meat, bacon.
Joshua, as
That's always in there?
always.
Is what you're saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's going to be a variety of some sort.
Okay.
So ground beef will always be in there, and
Okay.
then sometimes our breakfast meat goes from bacon.
So everyone
to
can use that. Yeah.
breakfast sausage. I think I had this month. I have a bone-in smoked ham piece.
Oh,
Which are
wow.
great, yeah, for breakfast and for red beans.
Okay. I'm signing up.
I'm going for seconds.
Today.
I'm going to grab another sandwich from our guy, Josh. Great work today. The thespian, the butcher.
Thank you so much. Great
ad
being
libbing.
here. Always great.
Always. We'll be seeing more Josh. Go see more of him. He's at Iverstein's,
Yeah,
only when
come
he
see
wants
me.
to be.
Yeah. Come see me.
Go see him. Iverstein's. How do you get on the bundle? Iverstein'sFarms.com. Top right.
IversteinFarms.com, top right. Yeah.
Hit the like button, share button, comment button. We appreciate Coach House for coming through. Coach Mulkey for coming through. Our guy Josh, Nathan Velasquez, obviously, and our good friends over at Iverstein's for another successful Foodie Friday edition from our friends over at Iverstein's Butcher Shop, Iverstein'sFarms.com online. Click the online bundle right there in the top right. Get on the delivery route today. Josh will be picking out your eats for you. He'll come drop it off to your front door. He'll be there. Have a great weekend. We'll be back with you 7 a.m. Don't forget Mikey Matuk and Mic'd Up will originate from Uncle Earl's today, 4:30 to 6. You're looking at a place to get out of the weekend, get ready for the weekend, get set up for the College World Series, hear a little college baseball talk from one of the best. Go check out Mic'd Up live from Uncle Earl's this afternoon. We'll be back on 7 a.m. with you on Monday morning. Great bike there, buddy. Great bike. Like, share, comment. Appreciate Go Chevrolet for driving us.